Srila ki Jai. Reading from Shrimadbhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 4, Text 33. Tam abhignaya sahasa pratyagatam sahi pujayamasa vidhivan naradam surapujitam tam abhignaya sahasa नारदं सुरपूजिताम् तम् अभिज्ञाय सहसा प्रत्युतायागतं मुनिः पूजयामास विधिवान् नारदं सुरपूजिताम्
तमभिज्ञाय सहसा प्रत्युत्थायागतं
मुनिः
पूजयामास विधिवान्
नारदं पूजितं तम् अभिज्ञाय seeing the good fortune of his Narada's arrival Sahasa all of a sudden Pratyutaya getting up Agatam arrived at Vyasadeva Pujayamasa worship Vidhivat with the same respect as offered to Brahma. Narada to Narada Surapujitam worshipped by the demigods. Translation. At the auspicious arrival of Sri Narada, Sri Vyasadeva got up respectfully and worshipped him, giving him veneration equal to that given Brahmaji, the creator. Purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Abhay Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki. Vidhi means Brahma, first created living being. He is the original student as well as professor of the Vedas. He learned it from Sri Krishna and taught Narada. So Narada is the second Acharya in the line of spiritual disciplic succession. He is the representative of Brahma and therefore he is respected exactly like Brahma, the father of all Vidhis, regulations. Similarly, all other successive disciples in the chain are also equally respected as representatives of the original spiritual. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the fourth chapter of the Shrimadbhagavatam entitled The Appearance of Sri Narada. At the auspicious arrival of Sri Narada, Sri Vyasadeva got up respectfully and worshipped him, giving him veneration equal to that given to Brahma, the creator. Om Ajnana-Mirandasya Jnananjana Chalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sadhrajata Sadhana Raghunatamritam Tam Sajivam Svaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sarvana Lalita Shri Chakantamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurani Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpata कृपा सिंधुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि घोर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं जीनतारणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरम्। Hare Krishna. So we are assembled here today to discuss the topics from Shrimadbhagavatam. Shrimadbhagavatam is known as Amala Purana, the spotless Purana. So Shrimadbhagavatam in the second canto, Srila Sukadeva Goswami tells his disciple Parikshit Maharaj that there are 10 topics that are broadly covered in Srimad Bhagavatam, and the entire Srimad Bhagavatam is spoken along these 10 subjects. The creation of the universe, sub-creation, the planetary systems, the protection by the Lord, the impetus for creation, the change of Manus, the signs of God, returning home back to Godhead, liberation, and the summum bonum. These are the 10 topics that are broadly covered in Srimad Bhagavatam. So the first 2 topics are the creation of the universe and sub-creation. So we see in this translation, Srila Vyasadeva, when Narada Muni arrived, he got up and respectfully worshipped him, giving him veneration equal to that given to Brahmaji, the creator. So Brahmaji is addressed here as the creator. The Isopanishad tells us, Isa Vasyam Idam Sarvam, that everything emanates from the personality of Godhead. So then how is Brahmaji the creator? If everything originates from Krishna, Krishna is the original creator. So the first 2 topics in Srimad Bhagavatam are creation of the universe and sub-creation. So Brahmaji is responsible for sub-creation. So for example, in this world, we are also little creators. We create so many things. But we're not really creating anything. We are simply taking what's already been created, mixing it up, and producing a new substance. Yes? So in that way, in that respect, we are sub-creators. We're not really creating, it's already there. We're simply bringing different elements together and creating something out of it. So Brahma does something similar. So Mahavishnu, he expands as Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. And from Garbhodakashayi Vishnu come all these gigantic universes. So in each universe, everything is already there, created by Krishna. Brahma, all he has to do is take these different elements, put them together, and create facilities so jivas can live in these universes. So Lord Brahma creates the senses, he creates the sense objects, and then he takes all these living entities, the souls, and puts them in appropriate bodies according to their own past karma. So indeed Brahmaji is a creator, but he is using what has already been created by the personality of Godhead and making life suitable for living entities to live here. So in that respect, he is the sub-creator. So these two topics, the first two topics of Shrimadbhagavatam, as delineated by Srila Sukadeva Goswami himself, cover creation and sub-creation. So the question is, why is there a creation, first of all? To begin with, why is there a material creation? So I was hearing a class by my senior esteemed godbrother, Gauranga Prabhu, who's the director of Govardhan Eco Village in Vada, near Mumbai. And he was giving a very nice example. He gave the example of an orchestra, a symphony. There are so many different players playing different instruments. I've seen on YouTube some of these videos. There's so many violin players, there's bass guitar, there's trumpets, drums, saxophone, so many different kinds of instruments, guitars. And then there's a conductor. He has two wands in his hand, and then I don't know how that works, but he makes some movements, and the instrumentalists, they understand what they have to do, and they follow in sync with them, with the conductor. Now, if one of the musical instruments, one of the players decides, I want to do something different, then the entire orchestra can be spoiled. If he starts playing on his own notes, not following the conductor, then the entire musical creation is spoiled. So Gauranga Prabhu is explaining that in the spiritual world, the egos of all the inhabitants are perfectly synced for the service and pleasure of Krishna. Everyone, all of them, in sync for one singular purpose, for the pleasure of Krishna. Just like in an orchestra. But if in an orchestra some instrumentalist decides he wants to play his own notes in his own composition, it cannot be played as part of an orchestra. He may have to be given a separate facility, perhaps a separate room where he can play whatever he likes and does not create a disturbance for the other players. Similarly, when the living entity desires to enjoy separately from the Lord, then it cannot happen in a setting where everyone has a common purpose, a common goal to work for the pleasure of Krishna. So in such a setting, it is possible for someone to enjoy separately. So such souls, such living entities are given an opportunity in this material world where they can live out their fantasies and play and fulfill their own separate, independent desires. So in this connection, Gauranga Prabhu, he cited Srila Prabhupada. It was such a brilliant explanation. Srila Prabhupada, in his purpose, he has revealed so many things to us which ordinarily we may not even think about. Gauranga Prabhu, he was citing Srila Prabhupada, and he said that there is incredible variety even in the real world. Now, before I heard this lecture, I had always assumed there was incredible variety because we have heard variety is the spice of enjoyment. Yes. So if someone offers us a nice, succulent, juicy gulab jamun, we'll accept it gratefully, we'll honor it gratefully. But if we are offered gulab jamuns again tomorrow, we may still appreciate it because after all, gulab jamuns are tasty. But what if somebody offers us gulab jamuns on the third day and the fourth day? By the fifth day, we may start hating gulab jamuns. Yes? Because we need variety. So somebody offers gulab jamuns today, rasagullas tomorrow, Sunday, following day, and we enjoy it. Variety is the spice of enjoyment. So I had always thought that is the reason so much variety has been created in the world, for the enjoyment of living entities. But Prabhupada offers a very fascinating, extraordinary analysis of this very point. So Gauranga Prabhu is explaining. One of the reasons that so much variety exists is because the living entity has come here with the desire to be the Lord and Master. Yes. So if there was no variety and if everybody had this very same facilities, then there is no scope for the living entity to feel himself better than others. Yes? So when there is such incredible variety, we find sometimes one person has qualities that another lacks. Yes, or he has possessions that. So the ego of the living entity is satisfied in this way because he now has something that others don't have, so he feels better than them. In this way, his ego is satisfied because he feels he is the Lord and Master of this. So in order to give the living entities that facility, where their ego can be satisfied by feeling better than others or superior to others, such incredible variety has been created. So this is such a fascinating point of view by His Divine Grace. I remember many years ago, I came upon a quote by Srila that was utterly brilliant. Srila Prabhupada gave the greatest definition of old age that I have read anywhere. Jai Shri Shri Radha. So generally, what is our understanding of old age? We understand old age by proximity to death. Yes, when people are old, their bodies are broken, they are weak, their hairs are grey or they have no hair. So we understand these people don't have much time left because they are close to death. So we understand old age by the proximity to death. But Srila Prabhupada's vision is, in this world, in this material world, there is danger every step. Padam padam yat vipadam natesam. So, the day we are born, close proximity to death. Yes, because old age is generally understood to be proximity to death. So, if we are close to death the day we are born, by this definition, if old age is understood to be proximity to death, the day we are born, we are old. Because there is danger in every step. Death is never very far away. So Srila Prabhupada argues that the day we are born, we should be understanding the road. Because it can arrive at any moment. So in India especially, there is this common sentiment that spirituality is for those that are old. If I've heard that myself, at my home, my grandmother would sometimes tell me, right now you have to focus on your career. And this practice of Krishna consciousness is for later. But my granddad, he never agreed because he was very attack Ramachandra. So he would encourage me, no, continue to chant. Continue to go to the temple, continue to associate. So he would always encourage me, no, this is very important. What you are doing now is very important, you should not stop that. Because he understood this principle. So, if we were to go by that definition, Krishna consciousness is for old age, then we should start right to. Because today, whatever age we may be, whether in our 20s or 30s or 40s or 50s, we are already old because the day we are born, we are in close proximity to death. So this process should begin now. Prahlad Maharaj said that. He would encourage his fellow students in school to chant the names of the Lord and dance and kirtan. So we must begin at a very young age. Srila Prahlad Maharaj instructed. So this Krishna consciousness movement, it is not for simply those who have worked a very long life and had a long career and they have nothing else to do, so now they engage in spiritual activities. On the contrary, this is our eternal. We are not material beings that are somehow trying to experience a spiritual experience. It is the opposite. We are actually eternally spiritual beings that somehow or other are being subjected to a material experience. So this process should begin at this very moment. Srila Prabhupada showed such great urgency in establishing this movement, taking it far and wide. So somebody asked him, and I may have mentioned this in the last class, but somebody asked him, so you're a Swami, why are you using jet planes for passenger jets all over the world? Srila Prabhupada said, you are going to hell at the speed of a jet. If I use a bullock cart, as Swamis do in India traditionally in the old days, how will I ever get to you? So he said, that's why I'm using jet planes. So he showed such great urgency in establishing this movement all over the world. Because this is not a movement, this is not a practice for a certain phase of our life. It is meant to be practiced at this very moment for the rest of our existence. Because that is who we really are. Jiva loke, jiva bhuta sanatana. We are eternal, fragmented parts and parcels of Krishna that have somehow become separated from the Lord. Our eternal responsibility, duty, is to be engaged in Krishna's service, which will bring us lasting happiness and joy. So in this verse, as soon as Narada Muni arrives, Srila Vyasadeva got up very respectfully and worshipped him. This is proper culture. We read in Shrimadbhagavatam, when the father of Srila Suta Goswami, Roma Harshana Suta, he was speaking Bhagavad Katha when Lord Balaram appeared there. We have heard the story. And Roma Harshana Suta continued to speak. This was a great offense. Because when a great personality as Balaram appears, the proper etiquette is to offer him all respect, as Srila Vyasadeva is doing in this verse when his Guru, Sri Narada Muni, appears. So it is a great violation of etiquette when Roma Harshana Suta failed to stand up and receive Balaram with the proper and veneration. So Lord Balaram picked up a blade of grass and he just touched the body of Roma Harshana Suta. Sudarshan Sutta fell dead. So we must understand, Shrimadbhagavatam is teaching us all these subjects in great detail. And by reading carefully and understanding these subjects, we understand what is proper etiquette, what is the goal of human life. And in the association of devotees, we practice these principles. When we read Shrimadbhagavatam, so many things Krishna reveals to us when we are sincerely practicing these principles. And things that we never understood before start to become very clear. I remember just the other day I was talking to our beloved friend Rohit, who now lives in the ashram, he serves at the temple. So I asked him if he was going now that he was in the ashram. And he told me that it's very peaceful to be here. Now, and then I responded, but you could have peace in a movie theater also. Why did you move all the way to the ashram just to find peace? I said to him, if you're in a movie theater watching a movie, do you ever think while the movie is playing what your bank balance is? Or what your boss told you earlier that morning? Or the report that you are expected to deliver the following day? You're not thinking about anything else because you're fully absorbed in the movie. It's very peaceful. Nothing else in the outside world is on your mind. So why did you move to the ashram to find peace if you are in a movie theater or on a beach somewhere? So we understand. We go to the temple to associate with devotees and engage in Krishna's service, not for peace. My Guru Maharaj, Sri Radhanath Swami Maharaj, he gave the greatest definition of peace that I have ever heard. He said, peace is not the absence of conflict. Peace is the presence of Krishna, whatever the conflict may be. Arjuna, he was on a battlefield, fighting the greatest battle known to mankind, the battle of Kurukshetra. It was not a peaceful circumstance. Arrows were being shot in every direction. Soldiers, millions of them were being killed. Arjuna himself, his arrows were being shot. And Krishna, he was shooting arrows at his enemies. There was no peace on the battlefield. But Arjuna was the happiest. Why? Because he was engaged in Krishna's service. So our goal is not peace. Our goal is to simply work for Krishna's pleasure. And whatever conflicts there may be around us or in our lives, if we are simply engaged in Krishna's service, working for His pleasure, we should understand that is the most peaceful circumstances to find ourselves in. So these concepts we only understand when we come in the association of devotees and hear from those who have understood the truth. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells Arjuna, Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevya upadekshanti jnaninas tattva darshina. Tattva darshina, you must approach one who knows the truth. Because he has seen and experienced the truth, he can read the Bhagavad Gita and Shrimadbhagavatam on our own with our faulty senses. We can never understand the truth. Because we will try to understand it with our own faulty intellect, which is covered over by the modes of material nature. So we must understand these subjects from those who have experienced and seen the truth. Then the truth is revealed to us. Otherwise, we simply come to the wrong conclusions. I've heard so many people tell me that they go to the temple for peace. If they are not against peace, if being in a temple ambience is peaceful for some people, we are not against that. But that is not the purpose of going to a temple. We go to the temple to associate with devotees, chant Krishna's names, hear glorification of Krishna, and serve together in the association of devotees, so we can awaken the dormant love of Krishna. The potential to love Krishna is in the hearts of all living entities. So when we engage in these activities, that love can be awakened. And the devotees and the scriptures and the saintly personalities, they teach us how to do it. Yes, when we were growing up, many of us, for example, we experienced envy. Yes, envy is nature. It's just part of material conditioning. But did anybody ever tell us, give up this envy because it's a poison? Nobody told me. Nobody told you either, Mataji. Why? Because most people do not even understand that it's a poison that can destroy us. Come in the association of enlightened people, they tell us, giving up envy is actually good for you, it make you a happy person. When we are envious of somebody, how miserable we are. Yes? And the more that person is successful, the more miserable we become. Yet we never think, this envy is only making me more and more miserable. Why not just... We don't even think along those lines. But the enlightened soul, the kind, compassionate Vaishnava, he tells us, please, give this up. Then you can become happy. Can you imagine? When we are free of envy, what a happy state that is. Because all around you, no matter if someone's more successful than you, more famous than you, more accomplished than you, it doesn't affect you at all because there's no envy. On the other hand, it only motivates you to do something good for society. So actually being free of envy is not a loss in any way in this world. It is actually a great thing because it can make us very happy. Giving up lust, envy, anger, greed, madness, all of these things, it is what appears now to be a simple fact. We never thought about it like that. It is because when we are in illusion, even simple things, very difficult to understand. But the compassion of Vaishnavas, they, with the light of knowledge, they destroy the ignorance that is within our hearts. And they actually help us find true joy by giving up everything that is undesirable. All of these qualities that plague our hearts, by giving up these qualities, we actually become very happy. It is of paramount importance that we always remain in the association of devotees and practice this process. Because devotees are like a wall around a fortress. The walls around a fortress to keep enemies out. So our devotees, Vaishnavas are like that. They protect us from the influence of illusion. So we must always seek and gratefully remain in the association of devotees, practicing this of bhakti, and in this very lifetime we can achieve the highest perfection. Thank you very much. Are there any questions, comments, Prabhu? No questions? Anything to share, Mataji?
harmonious nature, it's right due to ME, because we mentioned before and stuff, with the orchestra, we're playing a different tune. We put it to a different room and stuff, so, but, I also have seen, like, as a, if we can take to the process of Krishna consciousness at a young age, the ego can be trained in the state that it doesn't play to its own tune, it can keep with the orchestra. So, pray more and more young souls. But at any age, at any time, it's just a number, right? Every day's closer to death. Every day one or day 50 and stuff. But yeah, very nice program. I like the orchestra analogy a lot. It's very nice.
Thank you, Mother.
Sharing that.
Yes, that's why, when we hear it from great souls, we learn these concepts. So Gauranga Prabhu was explaining his analogy to help us understand these subjects in a way that we can relate to. There's so many such lectures on YouTube. So Kali Yuga is a very some age of hypocrisy and quarrel, but so many incredible benedictions in Kali Yuga. Kalir dosha vijay rajan ashtihi ko mahan guna kirtana krishna se mukta sangha param vrajet. So, Goswami tells Parikshit Maharaj, O king, there are many faults in Kali Yuga, but there is one great benediction simply by chanting the holy names of the Lord. The greatest perfection. But there are so many other advantages. Like a few thousand years ago, if you had to hear a lecture, you have to travel to where that person is delivering the lecture and hear. Now, you don't even have to move from where you are. At least a few years ago, you have to go to your laptop. Now, cell phone, smartphone, right where you're sitting, because we never leave anywhere without our cell phones. Yes, just put it out and watch a lecture on YouTube, iPad. Some of our viewers are maybe 20, 30, 40 miles away, and we are discussing Shrimadbhagavatam and they are hearing. So easy, so accessible. You can hear regularly, you can hear from the speaker of your choice. So many things. It's just a very incredible benediction that if we use properly, it's to our great advantage. Just like the example is given, a knife is good or bad. Depends on how it's used. If it's your life as a murderer does, it's bad. But the same knife in the hands of the surgeon can be save lives. So technology is good or bad. If it takes us away from Krishna, it's bad. But if we use to hear Shrimadbhagavatam as people are doing now, and just closer to Krishna, it's a good thing. So we are blessed by being in this part of Kali Yuga where we have so much access to technology. So thank you both Mataji and Prabhu for this and allowing our viewers also to hear Shrimadbhagavatam from the comfort of their homes. Thank you. Thank you very much. Grantaraj Shrimadbhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur